confused on what's going on. I was trying to do the, Dojo survey revisited, or the next one where you do the redirect. And in the example, I think they just, the redirect just has a slash, which I believe goes to the current page. And so I tried that and it just refreshes the survey page. And if I put the results to try to go to that page, it goes into like an endless loop. And so I'm not sure what's going on. Like, I don't know if you have to add something in like the URLs HTML file also, or that's where I was confused. Like that page doesn't really give you much explanation, like when they introduce redirects.
Okay. So when you're doing your redirects, you always have to put a slash in front of it.
Mhm.
And then you're going to put in the same route that you would in your URLs. If you want to screen share, I could walk you through it pretty easy.
Okay. Okay. This one. Can you see it, or need to zoom in?
All right, I can see it now.
Okay. Yeah, so I just come down here and I do this redirect to result page.
Okay.
And when I run it, I just get a message that I'm getting like an endless loop.
Okay. So let's have a look at your URLs and see where results go.
Results.
Okay, so it goes to result.
Yep.
Okay, so let's go back and look at that.
And it was working before I did the redirect. When I did like the render request Dojo results and submitted the parameter, it worked fine that way. But when I did it this way, then it messes up.
Okay, so we are in. So we're inside your root route right now. That would be taking us to root.
Yeah, so I have this thing that says display results. Yeah,
okay.
And it goes through and pulls all the data. And then it just comes down to the redirect results.
Okay, so I only saw two routes over there, one going to the root routes.
Yeah.
So do you have one going to display results? Yeah, your root route goes to display results. Okay.
No, this goes to display survey.
Display survey. Okay, so you don't have anything going to display results then?
I might have changed it.
Yeah. So since you don't have anything going to display results, we couldn't get to that route.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay, so that might be my confusion. So I thought that the redirect was calling this function. It calls the URL.
All right, so if you routed something to display results, which we have display survey, right? And we also have result, but we don't have anything to take us to display results to start with. So since we can't get to line 17, we're not going to be able to get to line 50.
So when does it, but when does it call this function 53? Or this method?
Well, for it to call it, we would have to do it on line 50, right? And so line 50 could redirect us down there to result, but we would have to have something calling line 17 first. So you see, that's the result of the function we defined on line 17. So you have to have something in your URLs to call your line 17 first.
Right here. Oh, whoops, I'm sorry, I switched. So yeah, so when you hit the button on the survey page, HTML page, it calls this function display results, right?
But it doesn't, is what he's saying.
Yeah,
you're calling display survey.
Do you have a display survey above that? Yeah, you have a display survey, but you don't have a display results. So you have to have a display results in your URLs before you can ever get to it.
Okay.
So here, I'll step in just a little bit.
Wait.
Go ahead.
I know. So that's where, okay. It should be this function. thought it was in the button.
It's not in the button. So anytime you
Uh.
deal with a form, the
Mhm.
way a form works is when you press submit, either it's a button or input type submit, it will go to this action. And so the step in the process is this. When it goes to this action,
Mhm.
what it really does is it goes to the urls.py from my project perspective, right?
So this one.
Yes. Nope. This is your app perspective.
Oh,
It goes to your bigger project perspective.
this one.
Yeah. And then it sees that there's nothing past, right? Localhost 8000 /. So we've
Mhm.
basically told it everything after go to here. So then it goes, okay, let's go check in here. So then it goes to this URLs
Okay.
and it's holding this / result that you've sent through your actions. Let's go to your other URLs.
This one.
Yeah. And it's saying, okay, it does this because it goes top to bottom. Does this one match / result? Well, it does not, right?
Hmm.
So then it goes to this one. Does this one match / result? Okay, it does. So then what we say is, all right, now that this is the case, what do you want me to do? Well, we've already indicated, I want you to go into my views file. Inside my views file, there should be a method called result. So then it goes,
Okay.
the framework sends it to my views.
To this one.
Yep. And then it goes, it again, top to bottom, it checks, are you result? Are you result? It goes and it keeps checking and it keeps checking and it keeps checking, right? Display, that's not one, to where it gets there. And it says, okay, result is render request dojo results.
Okay.
Okay. So when you press the button, you're not, in theory right now, you're not going to be doing anything other than you're going to click a button and it's going to take
Switch
you to this
pages.
HTML.
Okay.
So whatever
Should
this
go
HTML is, and it won't have anything.
This function, and it'll run through.
It'll
when it
do all
hits
that. And then it'll redirect.
results.
Now, when it redirects, one thing I really want to point out, this is not the same as this. It is not sending you to a method. It is sending you to a URL.
Okay.
So this looks correct, right? Because we want, after it's done doing all this stuff, we want to go to this URL. Once it redirects, Django will say, okay, I'm going to go back to my URLs. It does the entire process to where it finds this. And then it eventually finds this one and then does that.
So what should go here then? If this should be display results, that method.
So on your form, so if we're looking right now, you have got for empty, right? If you don't do anything, localhost, nothing. There is a views and it says, okay, go to display survey. The method we want to run is display results, right?
Oh, swap this one out here.
Not necessarily swap, because let's actually say, let's create a new path, because I need to have something to show my form or whatever you're doing. So let's go ahead and create a new path.
Right below this one, in the middle of those two.
Yeah, I would say that that'd be a good idea. Yep.
Okay.
And then let's say it says /create. Yeah, but and sorry, and this one you actually don't need the /. You actually don't need the front or the back one in your URL. So you can just say create. Yeah, great.
Okay.
So then when it hits create, let's go to views.display results. Or whatever you called it. And make sure this name directly is the same thing as your method. I don't know that you had the underscore. Nope.
Oh, yeah. Camel case.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. So now, how do we get here? We want to take our form and send all the information to this route, right? So what aspect on my form tells, my Django project where to send my information?
Is it the action, right?
Right there, yeah. So here, now in your form, you do always have to have a / at the front. You don't need that backslash, or the second one, you don't need that. But now we want to send it to create. Exactly. So now when you submit this form, Django will take all this information and it's going to send it to this route, right? That is in a request.
Mm-hmm.
Then from there, it's going to check all of our URLs. It's going to check the first one that's empty. Nope, that doesn't match. It'll check the next one that says create and it says, okay, I have this request. Where do you want me to take this request to? And it says, okay, go into my views. I want you to run display results. Then you're going to say, is this a post request? Well, it is because it comes from our form and we said that the method equals post. And then it's going to do all of this information.
Okay.
It's going to do that. Great. Then you say return redirect result at the end, which is great. So now once it's done, it does all this stuff, puts everything in session. Then it's going to redirect to here. It's going to see this result. It's going to go back to my URLs and it's going to say, is there a path that has result? Okay, it is. Now what do you want me to do? We'll go to my views. Inside my views, there should be a method called result. And then it comes here. Yep. And then we render a HTML page called Dojo results. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. It was just confusing the way that I forget, the learning platform presents it, because this is just separated into these two. And it doesn't talk about any of the other stuff that's going on.
Sure. Yeah, I totally get that.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Anybody else have anything?
Yeah, just a quick, just to follow up on that a little bit. Whenever you're done with the app, are you just sending in that entire folder, the entire app folder? Are you zipping that and then sending it in, or
the entire project?
Oh, the entire project.
Mm-hmm.
So what if it has multiple apps in there?
That's fine.
Okay, just keep on sending it same.
Yeah, that's like a higher level thing, but yeah, you can have a ton of apps.
Okay, because I've just had all of mine in one project, but it's like, I guess, so every time I'm just going to send a new project and then you guys are just going to open the one that you're looking for?
Well, no, so you should now be creating a new project every single time. When you run that Django, like the entire bunch of scripts, right? When you do Django admin start project, that is you creating a new project. And then from that file structure, that's what you zip up and send to me. Unless you're putting it on GitHub, then you would just put it on GitHub.
Okay. So there's a main new project, and then under that you have your app, like, and that's
within that. Yeah.
Okay. So I know we're sending the app or the whole new project.
The whole project. Yeah. You will start a new project for every assignment.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So your Django admin start project, your project name here, which is on this page. This is what I'm just reading in the Learn platform. That is going to be, from that level, you'll zip up and then send to me.
Okay. Just want to make sure I have it right.
And we're going to talk extensively today about, we're really just going to focus on creating a Django project. We're going to talk about routing, how that whole process works. We're first going to kind of talk about a framework versus a library, how that entire process works, and then we'll get it all set up. Is what that's all we're doing today. And then Wednesday is going to be one of our heaviest we've had, if not the heaviest, where we're going to talk about session and forms, which is going to be fun. But that is starting to get a little bit more challenging. We're starting to really get into Django stuff now.
Gotcha. Can I kind of show you what I have? Just because I know I've done a couple of the assignments, but I think I've been zipping them the wrong way, I guess. But like I can restructure it maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is like, sorry.
You're fine.
Okay, so like for this one, I think I named it, or just for Dojo Survey, I have them all under this new project folder, and then, but you're saying I would need to create a new project for each each one of the apps
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
send in
We
the,
want to, we do want to
Gotcha.
do that just because for Django, you wouldn't necessarily want them under the same project because like we saw today, our project URLs can change, right? And
yeah,
so from our project side, you have this urls.py. And so we want to make sure that it is different. They are going to be different. If their entire applications are different, if they're an entire different project, then yeah, we need to make sure that they are all different.
yeah, I was wondering that because every time I know I would have to go to my new project and change the URL to make it link and work. So I was like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's not what you guys are going to be doing every time to grade it. So it will just be
Nope.
a new project.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
you will do that.
can I kind of reverse engineer that, like, and just build a new project with the ones that I've already created?
You what? I'm
Like,
sorry.
Because I already created them under this one project, all my apps under this one project. Could
Yeah.
I just kind of go backwards and build a new project for each one of the apps, or would I just like copy and paste or not copy and paste, just move the folder into the new project after I
Yeah,
created it?
I would just copy and paste because there's some
Okay.
things that Django does in the back end when you actually say start app
Gotcha.
and you create an app. So I would just do that and then copy and paste for those assignments.
Okay. Okay.
You guys gotta eat dinner and stuff first.
Can we go?
Thank you.
Maybe.
Yeah, of course. Anybody else have any questions? Aaron, I'll let you take it away now.
Does it sound like there's any questions? Anybody need anything? Any more questions?
I had one other just small question. Like when we're posting Django code to GitHub, like what do we post? That same like zipped file, or like how does somebody go in and find everything?
Well, you wouldn't post your zipped file. You would commit your whole project to GitHub. And then you could just use the link to add it to the platform.
Okay.
Do you mind actually creating one and showing that, Aaron? And not to put you on the spot, but I think that'd be a great thing for students to see.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
Yeah.
Not to put you on the spot either.
Let's see if I can do that.
You could just create a super quick test, where all you do is create your project and your apps. You don't have to actually, create something and just throw that on there as a test, and then you can delete later if needed.
Okay. Let me...
And feel free to share your screen through the entire process so that way students can look back at this.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull this up. I haven't touched my GitHub in probably 6 months. Yeah, bear with me. It's trying to.
If that's putting you two on the spot, I would be happy to do it.
It's trying to get me to verify a device. You might need to. It's giving me some. I've got to go. Yeah, I'll go ahead and let you do that because I got to get them to know it's me again.
Happy to do that. Happy
Thank
to do
you.
that. All right, friends, let me get kind of prepared. Actually, here's what I'm going to do because I'm going to be showing this entire process today. During lecture, I will just push that one to GitHub at the end because I'm going to create and I'm going to be doing everything that we're doing, and I'll just push it towards the end. It acts the same way. You initialize your repository, you add all of your files, you commit it, then you link it to your repository on GitHub, et cetera, et cetera. But I will actually do that. I will make sure that now moving forward, I will just commit all my code to GitHub towards the end. I know that MySQL, we didn't necessarily do a ton of stuff and there wasn't really anything for me to commit, but I will make sure that I start doing that and I can walk through that process with you guys towards the end, if that sounds okay, instead of doing it twice. In the meantime, does anybody have a good keyboard that they love? I'm in the market for a new keyboard. I know that some of you guys have some good stuff.
Got a Logitech Wave. It works well.
I've looked at the Logitech G series. Some of the other people like that. Some of the other instructors have that. And it looks pretty sweet. Razer Black Widow, but the symbols aren't backlit. That is something that I really want in a mechanical keyboard, is now like customizable. I want to get a TARDIS, like a little Doctor Who key. I feel like that'd be sick. Any other questions, friends?
Well, I do have a question. I'm going through the first Django project just now, and it's asking me to redirect to like basically the primary route with a method called create, but we haven't even gone over any of the redirecting stuff yet in the module. So I'm wondering if there's like a trick to that.
Yeah, there's just a way to do it where whenever you bring in at the top, you will bring in like for your routing, you route to a view, to a method in your views, and then there you bring in your you just bring in the word redirect on the top. We're going to go through that today. We will go through redirecting today. You just basically bring in this keyword called redirect, and then it's just something you then have access to. You have to give it access to it on that specific level, and then you just say exactly where you want to go. So like to the base route.
Okay, I just got super hung up on it because I was like, well, I think it's expecting me to know how to do this already. But
Yeah, that is kind of interesting that it's above the redirect section.
yeah,
So
I was
if you go
about
to
to
the
just give up and go to that section.
Yeah, from there, if you go to Django shortcuts, so it goes from Django.shortcuts import render, comma redirect. All you do is just say that comma redirect aspect. And then from there, you have now access to this keyword called redirect.
Okay. And that's, I can put however many, I can import however many things, right? Like importing redirect and HTTP response is cool, right? Render,
Yep.
HTTP response to redirect.
Render, redirect, HTTP. Yeah, you'll see in like production, there's, you're importing a bunch of million things. Depends on if we're going to talk a little bit today about frameworks versus libraries, but in our framework, we can still work with libraries. We can still work with built-in code. We can just install it and add it and play with it. So,
Are
yeah.
we going to talk today about, so like on the urls.py in the app level,
Mhm.
the, it says from dot import views.
Yep. Yeah. So what that's saying is from this specific level, which we'll talk about.
Okay.
But that level within there. Now, let's say that there was a folder set that said views, right? It would be / the folder. So I have to go into, remember how whenever we, with our images in HTML, we had to go into our images folder in order to access the images. It's kind of the same thing. But this
Okay,
dot
so
is
the
just
period
saying
is just like from everything in this folder.
from where I'm currently at.
Okay.
Yes.
So then that little redirect thing that I imported on my views.py, I'm also going to need to bring that in on my urls.py.
Nope. Because redirect, you're utilizing that keyword redirect that built in on just your views side. It does that on your view side and just says, okay, I'm going to redirect to the URLs PY. You don't have to bring that in. So like if I'm looking here, right here. So here in this section, we're using this keyword. Now this is a built-in method function, right? That is already built into Django. You just have to, in order to have access to it on this level in this file, you just bring it in right here. When you bring it in, I can then use this as a keyword. You can see how this is blue comparative. I can then use this to do what Django will do. Django controls flow, right? That's what a framework does, is it controls the flow. It controls, how things operate and how things move, versus a library, which we can just kind of pull from whenever we want. So this, by doing redirect built into Django, it's saying, okay, I now need to send my application. I need to send and go back to my URLs here. Goes back to URLs and it does whatever is right here. But we're only accessing this keyword on our views.py.
Do you have to have the slash in that where it says return redirect, in the parentheses and the quotations? Do you have to have the slash or can it just be blank?
I think it can just, I think you do have to have the slash.
That could be another
Try it with both
trick.
and you tell me.
I think I just need to read this section before I tackle that part of
Yeah.
this.
That might be it.
Silly why it's ordered like that. I don't know.
That is kind of funny, actually.
Hey, Will.
Yes.
Do you have time for another question? It's a little bit different.
Yeah, actually, Aaron, my friend Aaron, is actually fielding questions. But
Okay.
yeah, you can go ahead and ask, and him, myself, and Mel can try to answer it for you.
Yeah, because I was getting through the reading this evening for the US, this morning for me. And there's maybe it's just easier to see if I can get this share screen working this time. Okay, oop, is it working? Do you see my screen?
Yep, I can see it.
That's it.
Great. So when I tried, so I made this directory in my terminal here. So if my current working directory is the intro directory. And then the next thing it tells me to do, or the next thing that it recommends to do, is to run this command. When I run it, it just says there's an error, and I replace it with my working directory. I had a bunch of stuff in here that so Python and manage. So I tried to do this in the directory that I created. So this is my first Django project. If I cd into that, and then I try to run it. It says no file, no such file or directory when I try
Okay.
to run, this.
Okay. So do an ls real quick and see what's in there.
There's nothing in there.
Okay, so that's going to be why that isn't working then. So what happens is when we do our Django admin start projects, and then you put your project name there, it should create all the files and folders that you need for your project.
This when I run that.
Yes.
Okay.
So inside
Oh.
of the directory where you want to create that, you run that line, and then that would create your project, and then we'd cd into it, and we could.
And then I have to put in the current where I want it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the name of your project.
Okay. Okay, so now it's running. Got it. Thank you. I think I just must have missed this line. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Aaron, it looks like we've got a question in chat.
All right, cool. And he's got it all figured out.
Well, you crushed it then, Aaron. Way to go.
Well, just had to look at it. Wish this chat pinged like all the other chats in the world.
Django is a framework. And how that differs from like a library like we use like jQuery and kind of just the difference there. It's really one huge difference, but we're going to go through that today. Got a pretty packed
Awesome.
day, so we're going to start exactly at 5 o'clock.